Expressions and Equations Study Guide. First section you have to write as an algebraic expression, which just means that you need to take the words and write them as a math sentence. So the first one says a number increased by 15. So a number I'm going to call x. Increased means plus 15. So x plus 15. Next one, a number times 10. Now remember, to show multiplication, you can do a few different ways. We could do x times 10. We could do x times 10, or we could just write 10x. So any of these is acceptable. Okay, the next one says quotient, and quotient is the answer to a division problem, which means I'm going to be dividing. So I look at it, quotient of a number, and 5. Next one, 4 less than 2 times the number. Now this has got that word then in it, so I underline the then, circle everything in front of it, send it to the back. Start here with 2 times the number. So it's 2x minus 4. Next one, 5 times the sum of a number and 8. So the sum of a number and 8. The sum of indicates parentheses. So I'm going to do a number plus 8 in parentheses, and then 5 times that. So 5 times the sum of a number. And then the last one in this section says twice the difference of a number and 9. So the difference of means parentheses. So I'm going to do x minus 9 because it means the difference of a number and 9. So difference means to subtract, and then twice that. So that's the first section. Next section, evaluate. Evaluate means you're going to take the value that you're given and substitute it into the equation. When you have a number and a variable snuggled up next to each other, it means you multiply. So 5a means 5 times 2, or 10, plus 3b, which means 3 times 1.2. Well, I know that 3 times 12 is 36, so 3 times 1.2 is 3.6. Add those up, 13 and 6/10 is my answer. Okay, next one says n is equal to 8. So I'm going to rewrite my equation, and I'm going to put these numbers into it. So I've got 4 times 8 plus 3, parenthesis, minus 2 times 8. So I'm going to start using order of operations right here in my parentheses. So 4 and 8, that's 11. Bring down everything else. Okay, now I'm going to multiply, and I get 44, and multiply, and I get 16. Then to get my answer, I'm going to evaluate what 44 minus 16 is. Okay, next one says 3 times a times b. So it's 3 times 1.5 times 6. So I'm going to start with this. So 1.5 times 6 is 9 times 3. You can start anywhere because that's a multiplication problem. It doesn't matter the order in which you do it. So work that one out. And then the next one, remember when you have an exponent, that means that you use the number that you've given, the 2 and the 3. They're your bases, so those are your factors. So 2 to the second power means 2 times 2, plus 3 to the third power means 3 times 3 times 3. And then you would divide that whole answer by 3. So first you figure out what this is, and then to that you add this. And once you get that answer, you're going to divide by 3. And please write this answer as a mixed number. So your answer is going to look something like this. Okay, so write it like that. Don't do it as a decimal. Okay, next part, write an expression. So it costs $50 to rent the skating rink plus $3 per person. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write my expression. So I know if I'm going to go to the skating rink, I'm going to have to pay $50, no matter what. One person comes, I pay $50. 20 people come, I pay $50. A million people come, I pay $50. Plus $3 a person. But I don't know how many people I'm inviting. So this is how you would write that. You would write 50, the cost to rent the rink, and then 3x, because 3 means per person, and we're not sure how many people we're going to be inviting. But the second thing says, so that would be the answer for 10. Then the second part says to evaluate it using the 30. So that means 30 is x. So you would have to do the math on that to figure out how much you'd be paying to rent the rink. Okay, question 11. An amusement park costs $28 to enter and then 35 cents per ticket to ride. So same kind of thing, 28 bucks to get in, plus 35 cents. Make sure you have your decimal point here. That's really important. X. So that's your expression, and then evaluate it. So in place of that X, you're going to put 0.35 times 9. Figure out what that is, add it up, and that's your answer. So that's a little more comprehensive, that one. Okay, next one, part D. Now you're doing like what you did at the beginning, except this time we're actually going to solve it. And remember, you're going to ask yourself who's the variable, what's happening to it, and so forth. So if 3 is added to twice a number, the result is 17. So 3 plus 2x equals 17. Subtract 3 from both sides. 2x equals 14. Divide both sides by 2, and x is equal to 7. So that's how you need to set that kind of problem up. Next one says a number increased by 8, the result is 13. Minus 8, and get your answer. Next one, 4 times a number increased by 2, so that'll be 4x plus 2 equals 34, minus 2, 4x equals, and so forth. And the last one's a little trickier. 7 more than 4 times a number, so it's going to be 4x plus 7 equals 35. And then work it out. Okay. Next part, combine like terms. Draw a rainbow to each term. We've got 14 plus 21n plus 9. The only things I can put together are these two. So my answer would be 23 plus 21n. Okay. Next one. No rainbow. So remember, you're going to do same variable, same power. So I'm going to put 2x plus 4x, and then plus 5y minus 3y. So you put your y's together, you put your x's together, and you get your answer. Okay, next one, 7x squared does not match 3x. It does match 2x squared. And that's the only like terms you have. So you're going to put these guys together, write this, and this, and this, and that's your answer. Okay, next one, we need to solve following order of operations. So I'm going to begin. Remember, it's grouping symbols inside out, then exponents. Multiply or divide left to right, whichever one happens, and add or subtract left to right. So I'm going to begin here. That's 18. Write everything else down. Do the math on this. That's 16. And then get my answer by adding all of that up. Next one, begin here. Make sure that you are working your way across. Make sure that you do this before you add 2. And then the last one, you're going to begin here and then do your math across. Okay, next one, solve for the variable. 1.5n equals 7.5. Who's the variable? N. What's happening to it? It's getting multiplied. What are you going to do? Divide by both sides. Go ahead and write it like this. Move your decimal point. Move your decimal point. 15s and 75. There are 5. So n equals 5. Then they ask you to check it. So that means that I am going to take my 5 and I'm going to put it back into my equation. So I'm going to have 1.5 times 5 is equal to 7.5. Do the math. 7.5 equals 7.5. Boom, I'm right. Okay. Next one, who's the variable? A. What's happening to it? It's being added. So you're going to do the opposite to both sides. We're going to subtract 1953 over here and subtract it here. Before you can do that, remember you got to add some zeros. Borrow, subtract. This will be a 3, so I'm going to have to borrow again. So 4447, you'll take the 4447, put it in place of the A, and check and make sure it works. Okay, next problem. Who's the variable? What's happening to it? Do the opposite to both sides. Last one says p divided by 6 equals 90. So rather than dividing by 6, you are going to multiply both sides by 6 and then check it. Okay, next one, 3x equals 57. 3 times x, so you're going to divide both sides by 3. Here, m divided by 9, so you're going to multiply both sides by 9. Here, add 2.6, so you're going to subtract 2.6 from both sides. Here, add 12.2, so you're going to subtract 12.2. And remember on this one, we're going to have to add a decimal point and a 0. And then the last one, h divided by 12 equals 13. So you're going to multiply both sides by 12 to get your answer. I hope this helped you.